center.
This is really important.
All right.
It's extremely important.
And save your comments and questions for the end.
Of Kanye West. A tragic story. He was born in Atlanta, Georgia, on June 8th, 1977, to Mother Donda West, sometimes referred to as, I think, D. Williams, and Ray West. Donda West was a English professor at Clark Atlanta University, and Ray West, who had recently just divorced Kanye's mother, was a once upon a time Black Panther photojournalist who now was a Christian counselor and owned a cafe. There's a picture of him with his mother.
Kanye has an ugly ass kid.
You mean ugly?
No,
That's mine.
Adorable.
Yeah. Some of you might not know this, but Kanye actually lived in China. Hey, why'd you do that?
First of all,
Kanye actually lived in Nanjing, China, where his mother worked. He was one of the only foreign students in his class. And I managed to find like the only picture where he's with some blonde. And
with some blonde.
some blonde.
He apparently learned the language rather quickly, although, forgot it since he doesn't speak Chinese anymore. Oh yeah, this time he also started to sort of get into the music. So at the age of 5, he would begin music, art, writing poems for his mother. 7th grade, he would start writing his first songs. He would actually sell some of his songs to artists in the area. And he would write his first official song called Green Eggs and Ham, which he convinced his mother to pay for, but she was extremely disappointed when they found out that the production studio was a basement with a microphone hung by a wire coat hanger. Although not long afterwards, Kanye West would run into producer and DJ No ID, which would become his mentor and guide through the rest of his childhood. Childhood. He would soon graduate from high school and go on to attend Chicago State studying English, which is also the school that his mother worked at. However, due to his schedule, not because he was failing, but because he was just so busy, he dropped out to pursue his dream of making a music career. And then he went into production. He would produce songs for people such as the Goody Mob, Cole Thomas, who's a very popular R&B singer, and the Trackmasters, as well as writing songs for artists like Janet Jackson, Alicia Keys, and Ludacris. I tried to think of dramatic titles to make. Soon, however, he wasn't satisfied with his life as a producer, so he'd go in and try and get a deal with production Rockefeller, who they initially turned down because he didn't fit the backstreet gangster style that was popular at the time. He'd go over to Capitol Records to attempt to get permission to produce his first album, which they were initially going to accept. However, some of the other top executives at Capitol Records would somewhat refuse him, turn him down. In the end, he was able to produce his first debut album, College Dropout, with Rockefeller labels. Now, tragically, his first debut tragically, his debut song would actually be written as a result of a car crash that he would get into, where after a long day of producing for his album, The College Dropout, he would fall asleep at the wheel and get hit, as you can see, in the side of the car.
Ooh.
His jaw was wired shut, and this experience motivated him to write his debut song, Through the Wire.
Did you sing that with his
yeah.
You can hear it. It's kind of funny when you listen to it. You can hear like his slight lisp.
Yeah, because his jaw's broken.
It's fine.
Although, apparently, later on, through healing, the production of his album was somewhat of a medicine to him, which helped him produce and finish. This is a very high quality image, trust me. He would release The College Dropout, I forget what year, I think like 2004, and it would sit at the number 2 spot for a few weeks. The song, one of the hit upper singles, Slow Jams, which featured artists Jamie Foxx and Twista, would be the 3 artists' first number 1 hit. As well, another song, Jesus Walks, would cement Kanye's Christian beliefs as he would, in the future, produce more music. He would garner, due to his release of The College Dropout, the most Grammys nominations in a single night at 10, and would also win Album of the Year and Best Rap Album. Kanye's success would continue with albums like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy being regarded as some of his best work, and other albums like Graduation, Life of Pablo, Donda 1 and 2, and 808s would be spoken of with great respect and critical acclaim. In his career, he would earn a total of 21 Grammys, as well as with countless other awards. Characteristics of his music's pretty strange. It's been classified as a fusion of hip-hop, soul, electric, synth-pop, and even gospel, referred to as chipmunk soul. Rather unique to his music is that he samples a lot of other artists so as to make the sort of rhythm and kind of beat of his songs.
Like absolutely everything.
I know, right?
It's
so
ridiculous.
Contrary to popular belief, well, I don't know contrary to popular belief, but most of his songs revolve around topics like identity, family, gaining fame, and faith, as well as, there's one song, Big Brother, which he wrote as a dedication and a tribute to Jay-Z, which sort of helped him later on in his music career. Fashion and marriage. So, most of his wealth was not gained through music strictly. It was actually through partnerships with companies, mostly famous for Adidas, which would launch his shoe line Yeezys. Named
Not the
after
Yeezys.
himself.
They're all so ugly too.
They are kind of ugly.
Why didn't you
And
include a
there's-
picture of the ugly ass Yeezys? Come on now, Mitchell.
and he also Gucci, Louis Vuitton,
You who love
and he's
Yeezys?
getting married to the one and only plastic model, Kim Kardashian, of which he would have 4 kids with.
No. Gross.
Northwest, Chicago West, Saint West, and Psalm West, or Psalm.
You got it right the first time, buddy.
Did I? West.
Well,
That's just names.
They seemed happy on TV.
but
Tragically,
Ooh.
November 10th, 2007, Kanye West's mother, Donna West, or Dee Williams, would pass away due to complications after a plastic surgery. Donna West, of which Kanye was super close to and super compassionate of and cherished above anything else in the world, would absolutely devastate him. And this would be the beginning of sort of a downward spiral for Kanye.
One of his downward spirals.
One of his. I feel like the initiation.
Just one. It's the real initiation.
After this,
Cracks begin to so much.
Lord. From humble beginnings, of which he was from, to suddenly the peak of fame, the sudden change in lifestyle and culture would really put him under pressure. What would not help was the constant paparazzi, which I feel like he has a somewhat public hatred for.
hey, good morning, Kanye.
I mean, he does.
Well, the stress would cause him to lash out at public interviews with news stations. And after one of these sort of lashing out and questionable statements, he would forcibly and involuntarily, which the same thing, be put in a psych ward where they stuffed him with pills, allegedly.
Jesus.
As well, Kanye would have several issues with the Kardashian family, especially Kim's mother, Kris Jenner, who often threatened to cut him out of the family, and who often encouraged Kim to take Kanye's money, his kids, and leave him. The quest for president.
No.
For whatever reason, despite all this public outcry, he would attempt to run for the top office of the United States and fail miserably. His first rally ending with him breaking up into tears, as you can see there, over the thought of aborting his first child, Northwest. He would also open up about things like his poor mental health, especially that was on the decline because of his public fame, and several other things which alienated him from the popular voting on the right and the left, so he was kind of by himself, and ending with only 60,000 votes nationwide, which is a bit of a sad performance. A fractured man.
He's so depressed.
He's eating
Look
food.
Oh
The Berlin Grammys. He was eating by himself.
Oh.
Fortunately, not long after
So
his
dramatic.
campaign for president, Kim would leave him and soon again start a relationship with Skeet Pete Davidson. It was terrible because Kanye isn't even allowed to see his kids. On their birthdays, he has to go through security, or isn't even allowed to visit them and say hello. And now he gets to watch as Pete Davidson replaces him as their father.
They're not together anymore.
Well, whatever.
He goes, well, this is what was happening, okay?
What's happening?
This is what was happening. I don't care about their life right now. It's
It was
just,
so weird.
yeah, this is for the point. I don't care. Political career, campaign, kind of isolated himself from everyone. So now not a lot of people like him, publicly and privately. So he sits isolated in his mansion with $2 billion, but losing the things he cherished most, like his kids and his mother, all alone in a husk of the American dream.
This is the most dramatic thing about
Jesus
Kanye ever.
Christ.
Look at them big ass.
That's Photoshop, look at
Jesus Christ.
Alright, that's all. Yeah.